Welcome back. Oil intervention. President Trump considering taking action as the Saudi-Russian oil war rattles crude prices. Take a look at oil prices this morning, bouncing back after a three-day 36% decline. Oil today at $27.17 a barrel. Joining me now is Price Futures Group senior market analyst, Fox Business contributor Phil Flynn. Phil, good to see you. Are you buying this move, or do you think we have further to go lower?
You know, I'm actually going to buy it. I don't know if we're going to go straight up. There's going to be more volatility, but I'm optimistic from what I'm seeing, not only technically, but fundamentally. I think the move by the government to buy oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve is going to help, and mainly the pressure that the U.S. government is going to put on Saudi Arabia and Russia to end this crazy price war could provide support and really help out our beleaguered U.S. energy industry.
Yeah, but I mean, do you really think that Russia is going to change its behavior? Isn't it true that Russia is trying to put our shale industry out of business? Isn't that part of this? I mean, let's face it, the United States and the world going through a crisis right now with coronavirus. Is it any surprise that Russia decides to pile on the crisis, basically saying, I'm not going to agree to any cuts, sending oil prices lower to hopefully kill what has been one of the most successful industries in the world, and that is the shale oil industry in America?
It's not a surprise. In fact, what we're hearing overnight is Vladimir Putin is digging in his heels, saying that he's not going to give in to what he considers to be blackmail. He's not talking about the Trump administration. He's talking about Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, of course, that said, hey, either cut production or we're going to flood the market with oil. So they're digging in their heels. But he can talk tough right now. When the U.S. gives the full weight of potential sanctions on the Russian economy, already that's going to take a big hit from low oil prices. They're going to start feeling the pressure. So I do think that we're hearing some reports that Putin is saying to engage Saudi Arabia, and they're going to look for a way to save face and try to end this crazy price war.
Let me bring in Steve Moore here, Steve, because this is also it's a foreign affairs story. It's an economic story when you look at oil. So many angles to look at here, given the Russia-Saudi angle.
Well, look, I mean, there's two sides to this equation. No question about it. I'm good friends with Harold Hamm. He's been on your show many times. Of course, he's the president of Continental and is the man responsible for the shale formations and the production in North Dakota. And this is putting huge strain on American producers. And unfortunately, you're seeing a lot of the rigs just shut down in the United States, not just in North Dakota and Oklahoma, but even in Pennsylvania, where we have the Marcellus shale. So that's a huge economic cost. On the other hand, the lower oil costs benefit every other producer, right? Manufacturers, because we do have, lower prices. One question I would ask is how low at the pump when I go fill up my tank, we talking about $1.50 a gallon gas?
Mm-hmm. We are.
Yeah.
In fact, we could see the lowest prices ever in history when you adjust for inflation. We're hearing targets of $1.60, $1.50 gallon national average. And I agree with you, Steve. I think it's great for the economy to get that kind of a boost, but you do have to balance it. I think even President Trump said, in the past, I'm for the guy behind the behind the steering wheel. I like low gasoline prices, but you have to understand not only the economic benefit that the U.S. energy producer has brought to our economy, it's also a national security issue as well. And that's the main reason Russia wants to bury us. It's not just about the price of oil or energy. It's about our energy dominance, and they want us to be more dependent on countries that don't like us.
Right, which is why nobody's surprised by Russia's behavior, certainly. Phil, great to get your insights as always. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Maria.